Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. So I'm discussing the aftermath of the Mercury retrograde cycle that we just had in the sign of Taurus. And Taurus rules your material possessions and the things that you value and your money and the money that you earn from your talents, your gifts, and your actual physical labor. So it was a really big retrograde cycle because it had to deal with money. It also had to deal with a lot of sexuality, relationships, sex, money, sharing, things like that were a part of this Mercury retrograde cycle. So the cycle started on April 21st and it ended on May 14th. But before the cycle began, there was a pre-shadow. The pre-shadow took place from April 7th to the 20th. And we are now in the post shadow. So the post shadow is basically after Mercury has done its magic, has gone to the underworld and come back. We get to see something from what Mercury was doing the whole time it was retrograding, what it was trying to tell us, all the information that was being processed at that time. There's more clarity now. And the post shadow is going to be from May 15th up until June 1st, 2023. So before Mercury really finishes this retrogradation, just whole cycle that it's doing, it had a couple of conversations with other planets. One of the planets was Uranus. It began its conversation with Uranus at the end of April. So there's like a really big change or something big was supposed to start or was supposed to be initiated around this time, but things did not exactly pan out the way they were supposed to. So after Mercury had that conversation with Uranus, it decided it needed to go back for something. Mercury also had a conjunction with the Sun, which is a Cazimi aspect at the beginning of May. So basically, Mercury got washed at the beginning of May. There was illumination or fire to whatever area where Taurus rules in your chart. And you can see that there was some type of awareness being made around the beginning of May. Mercury then had conversations with Saturn, which is the big dog, had harmonious conversations. So there were things that needed to be done or things that needed to be looked at or fine tuned, reflected on, reestablished. And because it's Saturn, this Mercury retrograde cycle was really trying to ground the energy of Mercury in Taurus. And Saturn is always about making things in material, bringing things into the material world. So there's something that you wanted to do around that time. That could have been an indication around the time Mercury and Saturn were talking. Mercury also had some real heavy conversations with Pluto, and Pluto is the lord of the underworld. So there were also some deep things that were also happening, some taboo things, some things that were supposed to be washed away or released, things that we were just supposed to let go of, maybe really intense emotions, intense people, maybe environments or just things that had been on your mind that needed to just kind of be released around the time that Mercury and Pluto were also speaking during this retrograde cycle. And in early June, Mercury will make a Cazimi aspect with the planet Uranus. So anything that was happening at the end of April when Mercury and Uranus first kind of met, um, around the beginning of June, Mercury will finally meet Uranus again. And this time Mercury will be direct. So we'll have a whole nother perspective. And it'll be coming to Uranus with a really big shift. And Uranus is all about change. So you can find wherever Taurus is in your chart, that is where there will be a shift or a change. Uranus has been in Taurus for a while. So this is definitely a big deal. As Uranus will be meeting, as Mercury will be meeting Uranus in early June, Jupiter will be stepping into the sign of Taurus. And Jupiter hasn't been in Taurus for the past 12 years. So think about what was going on with you 12 years ago and try to see if there's any type of cycle or pattern repeating itself right now. So when Jupiter moves into Taurus, I'm actually recording this on the day that Jupiter is moving into Taurus. So Jupiter moves into Taurus on May 16th. It's at the 0 degree of Taurus, and Mercury and Jupiter are having a conversation as well. So Mercury really spoke to a lot of planets during this retrograde cycle, and as it's also going direct. So whatever is going on from the month of April, May, and June, you will be returning back to this because Jupiter will be um, basically walking the same path that Mercury just walked from 5 degrees of Taurus until 15 degrees of Taurus. And Jupiter will walk that walk from the 9th of June all the way until the mid-August going into September, and then it will retrograde. So all the themes that are playing out from the month of April, May, and June will play out for several months coming up for the year because Jupiter will retrograde, and we will be in this cycle for a little while until Jupiter goes back um, forward. So this Mercury retrograde cycle is not what's happening now is not there's it's not ending yet. It's just kind of like a prelude to things that are coming when Jupiter ends in comes in this area. So remember, Mercury rules facts, okay, and Jupiter rules basically your intuition. So when Jupiter does move over those points where Mercury has moved over, you may find that you may have more confidence in the area where Mercury is going to be moving over. Or if you've been needing to fine tune or work on some things, Jupiter will magnify that for you as well. So I wanted to talk about that, and that Mercury and the Sun will not meet um, for the Casimir aspect until June 30th, 2023. And so when they meet in June 30th, this will be kind of like the wrap up of the retrograde cycle in Taurus. But again, remember, Jupiter will go over those degrees. So pay attention to what's happening right now because it will, like I say, be a theme for the rest of the year. So if you would like to know how this specifically is going to affect you, you can email me at aquilaastrology@gmail.com or aquilamoontaro@gmail.com. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye.